Hey guys, so today we are starting with chapter D3, which is set theory. Set theory is in a way is called as Venn diagrams, and this is a very particular topic which can be used in both quants as well as logical reasoning questions to simplify the data. Now the important part about this topic is the language barrier. I mean the language and the interpretation of the statements has to be bang on. So let's see what we have in the concepts. So we have one three parameters set. Let's read the information first. They're saying in a science class of 150 students, 65 students passed in physics, 63 passed in chemistry, 61 passed in biology, 22 passed in both physics and chemistry, 24 passed in both chemistry and biology, and 19 passed in both physics and biology. Also 7 students passed in all the three subjects. Now obviously three Venn diagrams, yani three circles for three subjects that they are talking about, which is physics, biology and chemistry, something of this sort. Now very important, the total is 150. Then immediately after that they are saying 65 passed in physics. Now this is where it becomes interesting. You have to realize that they are not mentioning only physics or something of that sort. They are saying physics, 65 passed in physics, which is a generic representation. And whenever such is the case, what they are exactly meaning is that the entire circle of physics corresponds to 65, something of this sort. Entire circle of physics corresponds to 65. So we'll write it outside the circle. Same goes for the other two. 63 passed in chemistry. Entire circle of chemistry is 63, and 61 passed in biology. Entire circle of biology is 61. Something like that. After that also it becomes very interesting. They are saying 22 students passed in both physics and chemistry. Now again, mind you, they are not saying 22 students passed in physics and chemistry only, or 22 students passed in both physics and chemistry but not biology. If these two interpretations have been there, then we would have marked something in the middle. But because this is again a slightly generic representation where they are talking about physics and chemistry, both physics and chemistry, but mind you, because of the language thing, some bit of biology will also be included in this, which is the intersection of all three. And hence because of that, the 22 that they are talking about are going to be these 22 that they are going to talk about, something like this. Now continuing further, 24 passed in both chemistry and biology, which will be the same part. 19 passed in both physics and biology, which will be this part. And then very important, 7 students passed in all the three subjects, which is the intersection of all three, which is in the middle. And trust me, this is the most important value in this entire diagram. The simple reason is, now that you know intersection of all three, and if you observe, you know that people passing in both physics and chemistry is 22, the entire part, out of which the bottom part is 7. Automatically only physics and chemistry becomes 22 minus 7, which is 15. Trust me, mind this in, remember this very carefully. Sorry, that 22 minus 7 gives you 15, and the interpretation for that region is only physics and chemistry, or it should be physics and chemistry but not biology. So be aware about all these scenarios, because this is where the mistakes happen. Same goes for the other two. You know 19, you know 7, subtraction will give you 12. You know 24, you know 7 on the right side, subtraction will give you 17. Once you again have these in between values, now you know entire circle of physics is 65, out of which you know the three values. Obviously add 3 of them, subtract from 65, you will get only physics, which is 31. Same can be replicated for only chemistry and only biology. Add the remaining three values, subtract from 63, you get only chemistry as 24. Add all three, subtract from 61, you get only biology as 25. Then the last part, which you should not ideally forget, is the total has to always match up with 150. For example, all these values that we have calculated inside the circles, you should add all of them and you should verify whether it is 150 or not, because if it is not 150, then whatever is the difference, that difference are the students who have not passed in any of the 3 subjects. And when you add all the values in the circle, you get the total to be 131. So out of 150 students, 131 students have passed in at least or minimum one subject. That means there are 19 such students out of 150 students who have not passed in any of the 3 subjects, and hence we have written it outside the diagram. And this is how you represent the information, and this is how you tackle the language constraint as well. And the interpretations have to be absolutely bang on. Only then you will be able to do this correctly. Otherwise you will definitely make a mistake in this. So remember all these things. Now once the diagrams and the values are clear, let's go for some quick questions based on this. The first question, look at the language again. How many students have passed in at least one subject? At least one is always minimum one, which also in a way means that one or more than one. Obviously you need to add all the values inside the circle, which we had already done, which had given us the answer as 131. The other way to look at this would have been total में से you should subtract failing in all 3, which is 150 minus 19. So remaining 131 would have passed in minimum one subject for sure. Second question, how many students have passed in at least 2 of the 3 subjects? Which means minimum 2 subjects or more than, 2 or more than 2 subjects, which means only one subjects will get cancelled out, as in only physics, only chemistry, only biology chhod ke whatever are the remaining 4 values inside the circles, these are the ones that you are supposed to add, which are being highlighted right now. Once you add all of these, you get the answer as 51. Question, how many students have passed in exactly one of the 3 subjects? Look at the precision, exactly one, which is only physics, only chemistry, only biology. Just add 3, you get the answer as 80. The next one, how many students have passed in none of the 3 subjects? Obviously we had already calculated that, which is 19 are the ones that have not passed in any of the 3 subjects. Next one, how many students have passed in only physics? Now this is going to become very easy as we move ahead. Only physics, 31. After this, only chemistry, 24. After that, only biology, 25. After that, students have passed in physics and chemistry but not biology. Now look at the language, physics and chemistry but not biology, or in other words, this is only physics and chemistry, which we already know only physics and chemistry is 15, or but not biology. If this would have been physics and chemistry both, we would have marked 22 as the way that it has been given in the data part. Similar way, physics and biology but not chemistry, we already know the answers, which is 12. And I think the last one, chemistry and biology but not physics, the answer is 17. So this is how you simplify the questions. This is how you simplify the information using Venn diagram, or we call it as set theory. The second part is even further more important, which is called as behavior of sets, how sets behave in a certain manner. And for this we have considered a random piece of numbers apparently, and the 3 circles, the 3 totals are also marked outside the circle. And if you realize, in the previous question I said something that the intersection of all 3 is the most important value. The reason is, if you don't know that value, you wouldn't have got intersection of 2 circles, and then that means you wouldn't have got the lone sets. And now let's see what is the change that happens if we just change that intersection of all 3 wala number. For example, in the original data it is 10 intersection of all 3, as you all can see, at least one set, at least one यानी addition of all the values inside the circle, which is apparently in this case is 151. Now let's see what happens. The totals are the same, but if we change that intersection of all three from 10 to 15, that means we are increasing it by 5, and you'll surprised to know that intersection of two sets which are just beside the intersection of three, the three values left corner, right corner, and top of that reduces by 5. So 9 becomes 4, 18 becomes 13, 12 becomes 7. And what else happens on the lone sets? You know, only wale values, they increase by 5. Something of this sort. And what happens to at least one? It also increases by 5. So 151 say it will now become 156. So the beauty of this is that if you increase the intersection of all three wala values, suppose 10 se ho gaya 15, which is it is increasing by 5, you don't have to count the remaining values. All you need to know is remember the pattern. So what happens if you increase intersection of all three, intersection of two sets reduces by the same value, and the lone sets increases by the same value, and at least one also increases by the same value. You don't have to add and subtract every time and save the time. Instead, use this property of behavior of sets and just from the reference set just accordingly reduce or increase the numbers with the factor with which you have increased or decreased the intersection of all three. So what you are going to remember, intersection of all three increases, intersection of two sets decreases by the same factor, lone sets increases by the same factor, and at least one also increases by the same factor. For all you know, this all can be reversed. If intersection of all three reduces, intersection of two sets will increase, lone sets will decrease, and at least one will also decrease by the same factor. So in turn, you are going to save a lot of time rather than, you know, counting all the values again and again. You just need to take a call based on what you are supposed to do based on the information which is available to you. And this is only going to come in the picture when you don't have intersection of all three ka value given to you ready made, wherein which you will have to start with the assumption as 0 and then proceed further and calculate, and then you will come to know by how much you are going to increase the value of intersection of all three, and based on that the other values will accordingly change. So that's the very important feature of this, which is called as behavior of sets. So folks, that's it from set theory. It's a very interesting topic. If you have any queries or any concerns, do let us know. Thank you so much.